following you. Good. All right. What's up, guys? Hope you're doing great. I came over here to Accra all the way from Kumasi, where I actually stay, to get some grabs, you know, of some street shots, and also to do a bit of photography. It will be later today. So I decided, why don't I, you know, get with you as I go ahead with today's activities. So I want to talk to you about something that most beginners suffer from when they start off in photography or filmmaking, especially when it comes to trying to attract clients, all right? So what I learned over the years, what I've been doing so far to land myself some, you know, some contracts and some gigs, is that I have been doing mostly creative jobs for myself, giving myself job descriptions, as well as putting time into editing, learning a whole lot of new things, and not doing just the same thing over and over and over again. So it starts off like when I started photography, I didn't have a particular pattern to follow. So it all came to me as I made a lot of mistakes. So the first thing that you have to expect if you have started doing photography or filmmaking is that you need to be expectant of a lot of shortcomings, a lot of things that potentially will be something worth learning from, because everything just doesn't start right off the bat. It takes time. It's something that is of progress and a process. So as you go ahead, you're going to be, you know, noticing some new things that you are learning, and you're going to also be outgrowing your gear. And this is a point where most amateur photographers also find it very difficult to find their way out. They see a lot of these people that inspire them. They see a lot of influencers on social media having all these monstrous gear, monstrous setups and all that, even in YouTube setups, studios. Not everything is so much of an importance what you're doing. But if you manage to know how to buy the things, the right things for what you're doing, it's going to save you a lot of money, and it's going to land you with a lot of good options that you're going to be making. Because if you go ahead blindly following friends, following people who have the gear that you wish that you had, thinking that that's what is going to be the way forward into helping you achieving great results with your craft, then you're making a mistake, because it takes time to understand some particular gear to know if you need this over that. So for instance, when I started doing photography big time and, you know, actually working on clients' projects, I started with my Nikon D5100, I think that's what it is called. It got broken. I'm going to tell that story in a new day. But for the most part today, let me just inspire you with what you need to do if you want to land yourself clients, if you want to progress in your craft. This is something that is being talked about almost every day, because it is a very integral part of being a creator, because you need money to be able to foster all the plans that you have for yourself. So it's when I moved from doing just photography into doing filmmaking as well, it wasn't an easy thing to do. It was a steep slope, because I was now going to be introduced to a whole new atmosphere where talking about gear, talking about techniques, and trust me, doing filmmaking, the gear are so expensive if you compare it to the gear that you need for basic photography. So unfortunately, we got kicked out from the spot that I began. All right, but yeah, it's not going to stop us from making this video happen. All right. No client is going to be comfortable to give you any job if you don't have anything to show. So for me, for instance, as a photographer, creating a website is very important. I'm working on mine as we speak, and so should you, because if you have, you know, a website, it's going to help you attract corporate businesses, and that's where mostly you can get the most revenue from if you do photography for corporates or you offer corporate services, right? And also you should take more into consideration building your portfolio on your social media platforms. So for instance, Instagram, which is where I have majority of my following there. And I do my best day in and day out to post content onto my Instagram page because I have majority of my followers over there. And so if pulling them over to my YouTube channel to show them behind the scenes or anything that I want to create onto my YouTube channel, I can use that as a channel to drag them all back there into my YouTube, and that's how it also grows. So first of all, I'm helping myself by opening up my spectrum and getting more people over there to my YouTube channel, and also attracting clients in that regard. Because if you're a wedding photographer, for instance, I started doing wedding photography, and it was quite tough to get clients to entrust to you their weddings, because they need to find someone they can trust on such a delicate project, because weddings is a one-time thing. If you miss the opportunity, that's the end. So what you need to do is that if you want to be a wedding photographer, for instance, find people who are in the craft, talk to them, reach out to them. Don't expect the first person that you reach out to give you, to welcome you with open arms, because of course they are also there to protect their craft and also are looking forward to grow their brand. So if you being the startup, you want to grow and you want to get your foot at the door of shooting weddings, then you need to find much more people who will be willing to allow you on their set, so that you can grab some content as well. And of course, with their permission again, you can post them onto your Instagram page or whatever social media platform that you are looking forward to getting people to notice you at. So this is a very important topic, that if you are starting and you are trying to get people to save your brand, you're trying to get clients to pay, and you want to overall make ends meet with your craft, doing photography or filmmaking, then you need to build your portfolio, make it as strong as possible. Don't just follow people blindly and buy gear, because gear is always out there. If you don't take care, you're going to make a lot of purchasing decisions that you're going to regret in the future. So it is best to, research into the things that you are purchasing. If you come across anything that is being rampant or being used by people in that same craft, then you take time off to research into those gear, so that when you're buying them, you can cross-check and make sure that you know why you're buying them. And as you grow, you're going to notice that you're going to be outgrowing some of the gear that you use, and in that regard as well, you can make the upgrades, the necessary upgrades that you can make to improve on your craft. One thing I've also noticed is that when you are trying to switch what you traditionally do, let's say you're a photographer and you want to switch into doing video only, or for instance, let's say you are still doing photography but you're doing another genre in photography and you want people to patronize your services, one thing that we mostly forget about is that we built our social media platforms with this following based on the things that we used to do. So if you are trying to change what you do to something else, let's say you used to do weddings and now you want to do, let's say, architecture, or you want to shoot landscape photographs, food photography, you want to engage yourself in different genres in photography, and let's say, for instance, stop in total what you used to do, weddings. It's very difficult to land clients, because already your audience or the ones following you followed you because of what they know you to be doing. But this time you're trying to do something else. And so it becomes a challenge when you're in that craft. It's just like starting all over again from the beginning. So what you need to do is simple. Just keep up doing it. It's not going to attract as many from the start, but as you go ahead to do that, just like you're able to accumulate those followers on what you used to do, you're going to be also able to accumulate such people to follow you. And in all, those already following you are going to like what you do now and still follow, and even in the end forget about what you used to do and now appreciate you for what you're doing right now. It's quite funny, but it's a tough road to tread, because here you're doing totally something different and you still want to get paid for that, just like you used to do before with what you used to do. So I think basically these are the things I'll talk about. So as I wait for the model to appear, I'll be putting together my gear. Then we'll do a bit of photography, as I said earlier, and also we're going to do a bit of street shots video to test out my Blackmagic Pocket Cinema camera with my 18 to 35 Sigma 1.8 sitting right in front of it. And yeah, so I'm gonna catch you up later, and I hope this was a good video, something that you can derive or deduce something from and help yourself and attract more clients in the future. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and turn on the post notification button to always be notified, and comment, engage with my content, and watch all other content I have over here on my YouTube channel. So until the next video, as I always say, have a wonderful day. See ya.